Yes. Okay, don't get cute.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello, please, and welcome back to Krown.
You smell like Fruit Loops.
Disrespectful, magical redemption cave.
Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It's a glorious Wednesday out here in Helsinki, Finland, and I am loving the comments today. Holy shit, the comments are great. Oh, and there he is, Scott Barney, already. Before we even get started, holy shit, this is a new world record from Mr. Barney. However, I need to call out some of these comments. These are great. These are fucking amazing. Holy shit, man. I love this, man. I absolutely fucking love this. Alex Tron, Vainglory, says, Ethereum is falling down to 1,000 this week. Do you promise, sir? Do you promise? And will you give a refund if you are wrong? There's actually one thing that I do feel rather confident about, and that would be, hey man, maybe Ethereum goes down to $1,000 over time, but I can almost assure you, if you are looking for that to happen within the confines of this week, I would very much not be looking for that this week, that is. Anyways, with that said, let's get into the Krown Chain application over here, which we found at app.krownchain.net. I'm going to turn off the alerts before Scott Barney becomes a devil reincarnated. And what do we have? Holy shit, man! Is this even English? Is this even English? I don't know what the hell to make of that. Actually, someone had a pretty good question right before we started the stream as well. They said something along the lines of, Krown, with the tweezer bottom, can you see a green dildo first, followed by a red dildo, and then reversal on the lows? No, it actually needs to be the opposite. It needs to be green, which is actually what reverses you. That's the whole idea. Typically, you want to see it as a bullish engulfing as well, or close to it. Anyways, with that said, into the Krown Chain application we go, which can be found at app.krownchain.net. There's a link in the description below, and it is 100% free. So go and claim your free account, or you don't even need to make an account. You can just grab all the data here that we offer up. Anyways, with that said, Bitcoin dominance still ever so slightly coming to the downside. We are looking for, or at least I am looking for, higher lows somewhere around this region right here. In fact, this would be a good time to kind of check in on that chart, because I do suspect that we're very close. Fear and Greed Index back in the fearful zone. Holy shit, it's a 48. The lows that we have seen in the last few days here, but more importantly, that is more or less neutral as far as I'm concerned. Anything between about 40 and 60 is neutral. I don't really look at that as, no real edge to be had there. It's just neutral, is what it is. And we actually did see the highest read that we've seen in months just a few days ago at around, I believe, about a 60. Into the data tab we go. I don't believe that there's anything too much interesting here as of this moment in time. We do see global exchanges net flows pretty much flat. We see open interest, very little change from yesterday to today. Everything else pretty much the same. And we also do see that global funding rate is actually flat as a fucking doorknob. So with that in mind, I don't suspect that there's too much to be going off of right here. So let's just go into the price action charts themselves, because they're actually a lot more steady and a lot more obvious than what we are going to be looking at in the underlying market dynamics for this moment in time. And that means we're going to start off with the low term timeframes today, of which Bitcoin did come down to our 37.5 level from yesterday's video, now kind of grinding it out. And as long as Bitcoin kind of trades sideways here, as I did speak about on the shorts video that I uploaded, I think in like midnight last night, then I am looking for this to very likely, at the very least, put in a bit of a short-term time frame bounce before anything else happens. Where could this bounce get to? Anywhere in the mid $39,000 territory is fair game for this one, but realistically, there is no major change of behavior here, even on the medium-term time frames, and of course on the higher-term time frames, as long as we're essentially between about 37.5 to the downside versus about $41,000 to the upside. You can maybe even see it 40,500 to the upside, and as long as we're just going sideways there, actually do still have a somewhat neutral to slightly bullish bias, with potential move to $45,000 still within the cards, but still very likely looking at a bull trap within that region. Not necessarily to say that Bitcoin's destined to go down to the fucking gutter and the rest of the market with it after that, but very likely to pull back down into the mid, maybe even low $30,000 territory, and then frustrate the shit out of this market once again. Because what is this market designed to do? This market is designed to absolutely bore you to fucking death, and you can see it in the comments sometimes too, with people saying Bitcoin to the moon today, or Ethereum down to $1,000 today, to quote someone else. And I'm not trying to throw shade at these people, but understand that realistically, 70 to 80% of the time, things are consolidating, going sideways, and being boring AF, actually, for most people. And that is why I do consider this a trader's market, because there's, there's humongous ranges here. this is quite literally, a $3,000, $4,000 range plus. And that's on a fucking 4-hour time frame, which is ridiculous. But ultimately, if you are looking for the moonshot or doomshot, well, there's great other channels out there that'll always tell you Bitcoin's going to 100 billion kajillion and more, or Bitcoin's going down to fucking destitution level and it's Goblin Town for all of us. But at the end of the day, man, very, very likely to bounce off this level in the short-term time frames. We do see 4-hour RSI is starting to reject the bearish control zone right here. You might even call that an ever so slight amount of not hidden, but regular bullish divergence, actually. Even the 4-hour jewel is starting to give a bit of a soft buy signal right here. Now, this is not supported by the auto fib and certainly not supported by the way that all the moving parts of this are currently situated, but it would be good enough for a bit of a short-term relief bounce, if you will, which is going to be supported by a few other things as well. Anyways, I just want to see what our other lower-term time frames are looking like right here. By hourly, same thing. We've seen volatility contract this whole way through. By the way, that is a somewhat good sign, again, for a short-term bounce here, mostly because we do see that volatility contracting while Bitcoin essentially enters into a consolidation on the medium-term time frames and lower-term time frames. Well, once we start to test the lows of this, which I believe we have, then very likely to bounce off and then find out if we're going to put in a lower high or if this is, if this is actually going to be constructive overall. But for right now, I'm curious what the hourly is saying as well. I was actually going to line up for a very likely good jewel buy signal here relatively soon, perhaps later today, assuming that Bitcoin doesn't crash below 37.5 or even 37,000 bucks, depending upon which time frame you're using. But as you can see right here, we actually do have a bit of a downside signal, but it's not supported by the rest of the moving parts, and that is very likely to trade a little more sideways and then give us a pop back up. I would say somewhere around 39,000 bucks on the hourly, again with volatility and an expansive posturing right here as well. I mean, it is pretty much fully contracted all the way down to about 2.38 percentile. It's very, 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 very likely to expand, and momentum oscillators do suggest that upside is a little bit more likely than downside. In fact, we can further explore that idea by going over here into the short-term time frame Stokes, of which we do see 4-hour is going to be popping up officially with any sort of a concerted closure above basically 38,000 bucks actually. Looking at the 3-hour, basically literally the same fucking number almost, 37,988 and some odd change. And we got the bi-hourly right here at 37.8, so actually coming lower than that, and hourly is going to be showing what? Is going to be showing 38,250 as well. So we're kind of within the confines of all those major areas. And then I want to see if that can bleed on into the medium-term timeframes, perhaps give us a little bit of a target higher, perhaps around 39.5 if that is going to happen. So for that, I'd go to the 12-hour in this case. And what do you know? We've actually seen a pretty good bullish reset on 12-hour Stokes right here. Now, technically speaking, they will not be crossing to the upside anytime soon, as long as we're below about 41,150 or so. But for right now, we do see that Stokes coming down alongside volatility contracting is a decent sign that we're very likely to bounce first before anything else is really realistically decided. So I do think that trend traders are once going to get fucked again, as they typically do, but they've been getting used to it for the past 3 months, just fucking lube up the old Angus and get ready for the pounding. So with that in mind, I do still look at this as more or less short-term, sideways and up. And if we do break below 37.5, that would be a change of behavior short-term timeframes, and I would start to target moves down to 35.5, very likely. In fact, we can of course go on over here and see if that lines up with anything else, because I do suspect that yes, it does. And what do you know? That comes in from our spike high in 7th of July, also the 618 bullish retracement. Actually, it should be denoted. I do suspect that we would have a bounce around there. I don't think that we'd have a reversal right there. If Bitcoin starts to break below, especially 37,000 bucks on a medium-term time frame, or even 37.5, I think would probably do it as well. Then ultimately, I do think that Bitcoin would probably find its footing somewhere down around the 786 over here at about 33,500 bucks. That is also going to be right directly in line with our last CME gap right on over here, coming in from last week actually. So at some point, very likely this one will get retested, just like this one will as well. Which one gets retested first? Who cares? Who cares? Because at the end of the day, the criteria for looking for what the God, what's the word that I'm looking for? I can't think of my words today. What I'm trying to say is, though, the setup is rather obvious. And realistically, with gaps, like, the reason why fucking gaps have become such a goddamn meme is because people do, it's not people, but there's a massive misunderstanding on how they're supposed to be played. Look, you don't just fucking see a gap and say, hey, we need a short right now because it needs to be filled. Fill my fucking gap, bitch. It's like, no, no. Once the gap gets filled, then you have a play. Then you typically have a nice little, scalp play right there, both to the downside and the upside in this case. So with that in mind, realistically, neither of them are relevant for current price action. It's only until we actually approach them where at least I believe that they are playable for like an actual edge, something that will give you a bit of a bounce and something that you can typically trade, at least in my experience. On top of that, we should do the daily perusal of course, the hash ribbons indicator. Have we seen any contractions here since we've last spoke? No, we have not actually. In fact, we haven't seen any contractions in about 3 days now. So that is, of consideration. Again, until we do get that blue buy signal on the hash ribbons indicator, there is no talk of Bitcoin doing the old girthy green dildo party back on to prior all-time highs and new all-time highs again until that happens. And I would certainly also keep open the possibilities that Bitcoin does not have a low in as well. In fact, as we've gone over in the long-term analysis video, there's a case that I can definitely make, a rather strong case, I'd say, that the low might be in. However, I'd still need to see the signal over here. That would definitely make that my main bias. However, there's also many things that I can go over that would suggest that the tie is definitely in, and that's a definite versus a might. So at the end of the day, I need to see that before I really start to turn on the the turbo boolah-ish news. And more importantly, this is going to take some time, as you can see. I mean, this has taken since we actually got the capitulation signal in early June, so that has taken about 2 months from then to now, right? We went through, actually no, it's just taken a little bit over a month. Sorry, my months are not very good. Anyways, my point is, or actually, sorry, no, it did happen over here because we were never resolved with a blue buy signal, actually. So that was going back to late April. So yeah, it has been a few months. That's basically all of May. So how did the months go? April, May, June, July. Yeah, 3 months. There we go. All right, so got it, and just count them out. Maybe that's right, maybe that's wrong. Who fucking cares, man? We got calendars for that bullshit. But more importantly, my point is that, this has already taken 3 months long. What's another month? What's another month and a half? As I have been saying, and I think a lot of the people on this channel have kind of been suggesting as well, or thinking in lines of, is that this is very likely to take most of summer if this is going to turn out to be bullish. It's not, there's no major rush into position. You very likely get another move back down to the mid, maybe even low $30,000 territory before this is all said and done. And that could come, before or after it moved to $45,000. I have no major proclivity towards that. I mean, I can certainly make a good case for this being a nice little rejective high right here. And I could also make a case that, well, as long as the short-term timeframes hold, technically speaking, given my personal strategy, I do still look for this to actually trade to the upside from that region. So again, that's going to all come in along the lines at about $37,000 on a 4-hour, or if you want to use a 12-hour, I'd use 37.5. Not a humongous difference right there. But if one of those two things happens, then I would be looking for the downside to occur first. And then, that's actually going to strengthen the bear case a little bit more, to be fair. Now, it should also be known a few other things before we get into Ethereum, because Ethereum will also be a big focus today. By the way, I was wrong yesterday. I was completely wrong, and I apologize about this. I was wrong about Ethereum's date for its hard forking upgrade, whatever the hell that is. Who cares? who fucking cares? Does number go up or not? Apparently, it's not today, the 4th. It's actually on the 5th. So these things are kind of variable from what I understand, and it wasn't so cut and dry. Anyways, Bitcoin on the higher term timeframes does suggest that we actually do have a few potential issues right here. I think it was, yes, on the 3-day. We actually are going to potentially confirm hidden bearish divergence on tonight's closure for the 3-day time frame. That will be confirmed with any sort of a closure basically below the last 3-day low, which is 38,300 or so. If that happens by end of day today at 8 p.m. Eastern time, that'd probably be a front runnable signal that Bitcoin is going to break down to the low $30,000 territory first before trying or potentially trying another upside move. However, it's a long day left to go, and like I said, short-term timeframes are showing and very likely a bounce back above $39,000 before all is said and done, and then we get to play the game of okay, well, is this wrecked or not? At least for the at least for the medium-term timeframes. So with that in mind, I do want to get on over into, or actually, do I want to get into that just yet? Let's check out the Gaussian channel right here. We do have bottom side of the Gaussian channel as a little bit of interim support. Guess where that comes in around? 37,300. So some odd change right there. Buy hourly shows what? Same thing. What? Hey, don't care. God damn it. Hold on. All right. There you go. There's the day, sirs. Just kidding, man. Just giving you some shit. Sorry. I'm just giving you some shit. Anyways, daily is actually broken back inside of it, and that would also imply that if we do break back above it, then that would be a good conclusive move. This would be a little bit of a short-term fake out, and we probably even have a little bit of, actually, though, there's not going to be any hidden bullish evidence because we have no other higher lows to be compared to right now, but that would be where? That would be about $39,000. So hey, if Bitcoin does close today's daily total above $39,000, I do suspect that keeps open the Boolah's hopes alive, and I'd still be looking for sideways and up coming in from this region here. Again, depending upon what time frame you use, I do, there are multiple ways to be getting this right now. 12 hours going to show what? Basically the same thing. I mean, not really going to have anything too much of interest right here. So I suspect it is best to go into actually the 5-day, because we did close one last night as well. And guess what? We did close one. Actually, I wouldn't call this a rejection of the top side band of this, but I would call this a test of the medium band, actually, which is coming in where? $37,000 once again. So a lot of things coming in around that region. Big area. And it should also be known that if Bitcoin does confirm a local high right here, we will have hidden bearish divergence on the 5-day time frame, which should be rather powerful between this point right here, this little local high, and this little local high right there. If that also happens as well, I would be looking for that move to the downside first. That would be another very obvious signal. Again, very far away from where we're at right now. And again, short-term timeframes are showing upside here. So I would give that a chance to play out first, see where Bitcoin comes in around the end of the day, and then judge from there. Until that happens, though, I am still looking for sideways and up. That's just my personal rules. Anyway, let's get into Ethereum right now, because Ethereum is actually, I see King Cosmic is asking for SPY. This would actually be a good time to go into SPY right now, because it also does help out the Bula case for the medium term. And we can just briefly talk about this because it's actually rather simple, rather easy. Whether it's SPY or Nasdaq, they're both the same chart to me. Hey, look, whoa, what is this? Do we have new all-time highs coming this week? I think we have new all-time highs coming this week. That's fucking crazy. Once again, weekly looking good for another liftoff. I completely understand this chart looks absolutely ridiculous. It is completely extended. However, it can get extended for a little bit longer, as we have seen in the past, and I've learned my lesson with that one. So looking at the daily right here, you know, if this one wants to come down just ever so slightly below 4,400 today, I'd look at that as an opportunity, because this one's very likely to make new all-time highs. Daily RSI is still rather healthy, right around the bullish controls, and the second that we start to get in there for a more concerted effort, that's going to look pretty damn good. Now, the daily jewel is starting to line up a bit for a sell signal, but I need to see that autofib on the same side. If that doesn't happen, which it is not right now, I would not look for any signals to play out. And more importantly, I would look for general upside continuation first and foremost. I'm actually curious what we're looking at over here as far as momentum charts go. And what do you know? Holy shit, man. Daily is about to cross the upside with any sort of a closure above 44, and I would say that that's rather likely. This one's trending right now. It's looking really good. And if traditional markets are strong, which I suspect, then what I don't suspect, they fucking are, you know, they are, the market that never goes down, that very likely bleeds on into other risk on assets. Now, I also want to, while we are kind of on the topic of traditional markets and just traditional structures in general, I do want to talk about the new SEC chairman. I think that's him, Greensberg or some name, sorry, starts with a G. No disrespect, sir. You sound like actually a very educated individual who is very much open-minded. And who are you to listen to me, some idiot on the fucking internet? Anyways, my point is that I actually read through his statements on cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, and everything, and what I gathered from it. And again, I actually read the raw statements. I didn't fucking get this shit off of Twitter, which I think is the worst place to kind of filter opinions through. Just as an aside, Ginsler, there you go, Gandalfberg. Yeah, Ginsler. Okay, thank you for that, fellas. Hey, what's up, MTMD? I see you over there, man. Dolo Mode, what's up, man? And Elizabeth as well. Barry and Buried Alive, what's up, my friend? So yeah. He actually seemed he seemed very reasonable and rather open towards, you know, accepting cryptocurrencies, namely Bitcoin and a Bitcoin ETF. It seems to me like he has fully accepted the idea that cryptocurrencies are here to stay. An ETF is very likely coming, perhaps at the end of this year or extremely likely next year, but I actually still think that this year is rather possible. And he seems rather agnostic amongst, you know, what these sort of technologies are. However, he is, you know, he's just trying to do his job, which is, hey, let's maybe get rid of the fucking scams, which, hey, I don't mind that, you know. It also brings into the question, what do you define as scams? But it is clear, though, that a lot of the things in this market, a lot of the things are going to be considered as securities. So get ready for a little bit of regulation, you know, around that, because that will happen. But I think it's also been pretty damn clear that Bitcoin does not fall under that category. So that is kind of cool. And again, I do think that it's a rather positive thing. Again, long term, I've been saying this for a while, and I'd still stick with this. You know, ideally, Bitcoin, I don't think is going to ever take over the world financial system. I think that would imply that, you know, we've probably seen like World War III or something, nuclear winter happened, and you probably don't even want to be surviving at that point. But you okay there, sir? Elsa's walking into chairs now. But you know, what's likely to happen is we're going to see Bitcoin and some of the other major cryptocurrencies, I'm sure that you can probably think of some, maybe even some yet to come as well, are going to find their way in and fit into the traditional structure. And then hopefully, this is my idealistic side speaking, hopefully we take the good things about cryptocurrencies and the good things about traditional markets, mash them together, and then get rid of all the bad things, and then kind of improve and kick the ball down the road a little bit. And that would be pretty damn cool. Anyway, we should go over Nasdaq here first. I know that you wanted to look look at hourly as well. Hourly's fine, man. I mean, this is just a straight up bullish chart. I don't really see anything too crazy about this. Maybe it comes down just ever so slightly below 4,400 first, but I would be expecting new all-time highs either this week or next week. Volatility's on the floor right now as it consolidates around the high. Yeah, that's a really fucking good signal, actually. Nasdaq, oh, what do you know? Same goddamn chart. This one's actually a little bit more short-term bullish, I suppose. Daily, same setup here too. Hidden bullish divergence right at the edge of the bullish control zone and right at your all-time highs. This one's extremely likely to make new all-time highs. Volatility is also contracting right now too, so if that does start to expand while price action makes new all-time highs, we're in for another fucking melting move. Jesus Christ, man. The fucking crazy. This market really just doesn't go down, I suppose. As long as that Fed balance sheet continues to expand, you can expect market go up, number go up. I think it is quite literally that simple right now. All right, let's go check out Ethereum, because Ethereum is kind of the star of the day right now. And what do we have? We do have hidden bullish divergence currently coming off the lows, potential for characteristics RSI. That'll be confirmed with any sort of a closure here or higher. I'd say that if you are the more cavalier type when it comes to trading, this is a front runner signal, at least in my opinion. The reason why I say that is because it's not only that, and not only the way that structure is looking right now, but also if we go over here into our momentum charts, I suspect that we're already turning up, maybe even leading into Bitcoin as well. And what do you know? We see 4-hour Stokes will turn to the upside with any sort of closure above 24.85. Hey, we're about $30 above that right now. 3 hours going to show what? Already up, as long as you're above 2,500. Bi-hourly is going to show what? 24.60. So that's very likely. And hourly is flip-flopping, but once again to the upside if we do close above 25.12 in the next 29 minutes, it looks like. So I would look for Ethereum to pop back up somewhere around about 25.65, 25.70ish region short term, and then kind of figure it out from there. And does this confirm a higher low here on a medium term time frame, like a 12-hour? That starts to look very, 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 very good for actually continuing on with the run. And remember, the higher term time frames on Ethereum, and I'm going against what that very educated man earlier was suggesting, that Ethereum's down to 1,000 bucks this week. I'm just not bearish on a chart that looks like this. Like straight up, all jokes aside, 5-day hidden bullish divergence back above the exponential, rejection of the bearish control zone, back above all major movement averages, all with positive slopes, and closing above your last little sort of short-term highs right there. Weekly's, even stronger in my opinion. This is a really fucking good setup still. I still think that 28 to 2,900 is rather reasonable, and then maybe we get an extension coming into like later this month or something like that. But for right now, ball is in the Ethereum bulls courts, and this is, I think, 1 day left, maybe a day and a half left until their official event. Let's see what the daily looks like right here. Actually not getting too much from this, a little bit of sideways, but still above all major moving averages. They're all chasing right now too. If Ethereum, like, let's also come up more importantly with an area for breakdown on Ethereum. Oh, and it's the exact same fucking one as yesterday. How crazy is that, man? 24.30. We could probably even move this up. You can see that obviously it's putting in structure right here. That's about 24.50ish region. So as long as we're above there, especially on a 4-hour closure, I am looking for the same thing as Bitcoin, sideways and up, and this one looks a little bit better, again all supported by hidden bullish divergence right here. And the 4-hour jewel signal has lost its downside curvature. And if we actually start to get some light blue on there, that would look pretty damn good for another move back up north of 2,600 or so. With that in mind, if we were to break down below this region, below 24.50, which is of course possible, I don't think it's very likely, at least right now. But if it were to happen, where would I start to look towards? I'd start to look somewhere down around actually about 2,300, probably bounce there, and then maybe continuation further south over the next week. But for right now, still okay. I don't really have any major issues with this. Yeah, it doesn't look like the most obvious chart of all time, but just kind of perusing the different time frames. 2-day looking okay. 3-day is looking what? It's just looking like continuation. And 5-day, we've already looked at this one, and weekly, we've already looked at that one as well. And I'm actually curious what the monthly looks like right here. Yeah, backfill all the way down to just below 2,300 or so. So yeah, I actually still think this is okay. But realistically, I don't think that you're going to be looking at new all-time highs or anything like that anytime soon. It's a sideways market. Let it do its thing. Just be a trader, or don't, or just watch if you don't feel comfortable. I mean, that's completely fine too. Or don't watch. Actually, that's probably what most people should be doing, is to, like, if you are a long-term type of minded person, just like come back in late September. Just come back in late September. Save yourself the pain of having to look at these stale goddamn charts for too long. Anyways, do we want to talk about anything here? Nah, not really. I think the stream dead. Oh, no! Don't fucking crash now! Oh boy, you piece of shit, you piece of shit. Goddamn, finish it. Yeah, it's okay. It's back. All right, we're back. Okay, thank God. Sorry about that. Okay, so I do want to ask one question to the audience here. Elsa, I want you to document the results and just kind of get a general overview of what of what people think. But a lot of people have expressed interest in bringing Richard Hart onto this channel for an interview. Now, I don't know anything about the fundamentals of his projects. I'm also not a good person to ask for that. But what I was thinking is that if the audience, if you are interested in this sort of content, what we could do is we could bring him on and then we could just open up the floor for anyone who wants to ask like a question. It could be, I suppose, anything. And we could just have a nice little chat, hopefully in a respectful way and everything, because I know that people are rather polarized regarding opinions on Richard Hart. I actually really like listening to him talk. He's extremely persuasive. Like when I start to listen to him talk, I'm like, what the fuck? Like this sounds really good. Why? I need to get in like Pulse hex chain or whatever the fuck. Anyways, so yes, definitely let your thoughts be known right now. And then if people, okay. Well, the thing with Richard Hart is that people call him a scammer, and I haven't found anything. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, if you actually have information on this, like, please do send it to me. But people call him a scammer, I see quite often, and I haven't seen anything that's like a scam, or like a documented scam from him. I haven't seen anyone claim that, oh, Richard Hart scammed me for XYZ reason. He did this. It's documented here. We have a court case. Blah 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 blah. I'm just saying, I don't know the full story or anything like that, but yeah, just something that I thought was interesting. So if you are interested in that, definitely let your thoughts known. Okay, a lot of no's apparently. All right, so maybe not then, maybe not. Again, I'm not gonna be the best person to interview him anyways, just because I don't know anything about the fucking fundamentals. Oh, you're gonna check the results, okay. Okay, it's looking like a no, but fair enough. I do appreciate your feedback on that, because at the end of the day, man, if I'm just sitting there talking with him, it's probably not gonna turn out too well, because I don't know what to fucking ask. Anyways, okay, cool. All right, let's get on into. Hey, what the fuck? There's only 2 dislikes right now. This is some bullshit. Actually, I would sincerely appreciate it if you did like the video. It actually does help a significant amount, and if you feel inclined, of course. If you don't like the video, just hit the like button twice, and that'll also get the point across too. All right, let's get on to the comments now. I've turned on the alerts, and here we go. Hey, Scott Barney's got a new one. Hey, we got a new one. All right, symbol XELA. Let's check it out. Let's see what we got over here. XELA, Excella Technologies. All right, man, you love these low dollar garbage stocks, man. What the fuck? It's actually pretty good right here. It probably does trade up. Man, we truly are in the last push, or the last like maybe half year to a year of a parabolic move in traditional markets. When you see something like this actually show a little bit of life, but is it going to trade up from here? Yeah, probably back up somewhere around $4 over the next month and a half, I'd say. 2 to 3 targets, please. I mean, it depends what time frame you're on, man. And I'm not the spoon feeder here as well. Short term would be about 375. More long term would be about based off the weekly, probably like later, maybe later this month, about $4, and then above there you got 5.5 or so. Not a humongous fan of this chart long term. This is an absolute shit coin of a chart, man. You play this one at your own peril. Scott, for the love of fucking God, man, I gotta ask you though. I gotta fucking ask you, just a man to a man, friend to a friend. Why do you look for the shittiest charts to play when you could literally have just bought basically anything in the top 4 or 5, and they only go up for the last 10 years, sir? Why do you pick this thing that only goes down? It's a fucking piece of garbage. Why? I'm just curious, what attracts someone to something like this? Again, I'm not saying, this is a friend to a friend right now. I'm genuinely curious. Why? It's shit! It's garbage! It fucking sucks! Look, man, maxing this one does to the upside, and this would be like best conditions possible. Bull market continues on until end of the year, let's say, and everything and their mother goes parabolic. This thing probably gets up to like maybe $8 or so, and that's like hopium upon hopium right there. But holy shit, man, you couldn't have picked you couldn't have picked the worst chart. The only thing that could be worse about this is like if you had more history, because it'd probably just even be going more down. So this thing used to trade at like what, north of $30, and now it's down at $3. Well, that's really healthy. That's really fucking healthy. And this is not like shitcoin land over here. This is traditional markets. This trades on like a real exchange. Like going down 90% is not good. Not fucking good. Yes, I do think it goes up from there. Yes, I do think, you know, it's probably got some upside, but holy shit, man, you don't need to make life more difficult for yourself. But again, hey, to each their own. Maybe you have like some insider information. Maybe you probably know something more than me, because I've done no research into the fundamentals of this, and I have no interest to as well. I would avoid that thing like the fucking plague, man. Anyways, fair enough. Evil Quandrus says, so you value your nipples after all. Interesting. I do value my nipples. Yes, indeed. My nipples are right here. They're like little pepperoni sausage places. And yours are like fucking carrots, so yeah. You know what, sir? You're not going to the moon. No moon for you. Fuck you. Mr. Postek says, when moon, sirs? Actually, we got a new moon, I think, coming relatively soon. Oh shit, I don't have it on my charts over here. Let's go check it out. Oh, you were gonna do the moon dance? Well, I can't play it too long because otherwise I get banned from YouTube again. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so do we have a new moon coming? I think relatively soon. Oh shit, that's right. Hold on. Mr. Meccan, our lovely, highly esteemed member here. God damn it. Can I just pull it? There we go. Has sent me actually a new moon chart. Let me just go check on it over here. I need to double check exactly which one it is. Okay, it is moon cycle. Okay. Oh, this one's by Silico. Okay, nice one. I like that guy. I have penguin nipples. Okay. Well, that's hot. What do you say to that? I don't know. All right, moon cycle's right here. Let's see what he's got. I'm gonna take away the prior one and let's see what we got right here. Okay, so oh wow, he's even marked off the solstices, which I don't know if that matters, but I don't know. We need to get the fucking witch onto this goddamn podcast. We need to see what she has to say about this. Oh, that's midsummer right there. A nice low. Hey, not bad. Okay, anyways, we've got, is this the bare moon or the bull moon? I do not know. Whatever it is, we had a bull moon right here, and then obviously this one's downside moon, so how do you analyze this? I don't fucking know, man. But I do believe that we have a new moon coming, or like a new moon. I don't know if it's new moon or like a old moon or whatever the fuck is like the right name of it. It comes in on like the 8th or 9th though, so that is actually relatively soon, just about 4 to 5 days away actually. So this one actually is working pretty damn well here. In fact, working well there as well. Got 2 of them in a row right there. I feel like such a fucking moron looking at this, but someone brought up a really good point yesterday. Chris Ubels made a comment saying, Krown, why do you feel weird looking at the moon cycles when you also look at Fibonacci? It's like, yeah, man, I also use technical analysis, which is fucking tea leaf reading as well. So, you know, fair enough, man. No, it mostly comes down to social conditioning. I mean, like we're kind of thought as, or it's kind of like thought of, you know, if you want to be a wise, smart person, then you poo-poo shit like this because stupid people from the olden days, they didn't know shit. Except they also did, you know, figure out all of the days in the year and everything, and figured out all mathematics and whatnot. They actually happen to know quite a few things. But yeah, man, you know, you do bring up a really good point in this Postern conversation. And yeah, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, the results have been decent enough to respect and follow up on it over time. So major thank you to Meccan for that one. And if you want that exact one, it is Moon Cycles by Silico, actually. Silico, who's a rather prolific guy, I believe, on Twitter as well. I've tuned into a few things of his, and he's very, very interesting. Has a very unique take. Sam Fergali says, hello, Dr. Crowny, sir. Hello, Mr. Sir. How long and how many things did you trial before you found and dialed in your edge? Hope you have the best of the best. Hey, man, you too. Okay, so this comes back to like my traditional markets days, because remember, when I first started, I basically had like a big leg up because I was around some of the best traders, and a couple of them were kind of essentially mentoring me. And so how long did it take me to find my edge? I mean, realistically, like the first thing that I learned in trading, because remember, I was a market maker authorized trader, essentially, essentially working with my mentor's account. So the whole idea of that was playing the reversal conversion market. So that's what I learned first, and that's just gonna work. It's just gonna work as it is because we had our system and everything, and it probably took me about 4 months to really dial it in, but then I got in my own way, like later on, by not respecting risk management, which was a whole mess that I had to dig myself out of. But if you're talking about when I kind of came over into, into more like, the trading that we're doing here, I would say it took about half a year, actually. It took about half a year for me to do that. But keep in mind that that was, multiple years after I first started. And when I first started, I was playing a completely different game. As a market maker, authorized trader, I would be playing the reverse conversion market. So, it was different. It was different. It'd be like the same thing as like, hey, how long did it take you to learn high frequency trading? And then I related that to like what we're doing over here. It's just a completely different game, different edge. And so I'd say if you're speaking about this over here, about 6 months, I would say about 6 months. Nacho Fiat said, that's a good name. I've just started studying the cloud. Thoughts on Ichimoku indicators? They're fine. I know several traders who use them as their main driver, their main source of edge, and it's completely fine. They are very, very successful. Now, Ichimoku cloud in general is very similar to exponential moving averages, but it's more like streamlined. It's easier to understand, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just I prefer, I prefer looking at things this way because you have more control over it. But yeah, Ichimoku is fine, man. You can definitely make a living doing that. Just you have to have everything stated in, or sorry, everything as stated in the trade checklist as I typically go over. You have your entry, exit, risk management. Just because you're using the Ichimoku cloud doesn't mean you can't, not pay attention to that. And I found that for people using the Ichimoku cloud, they need to combine it with something else for risk management because it's not really good in getting risk management. Or at least it's not optimized from what I understand. And I'm no expert when it comes to that. Expat Crypto says, I came here to watch Elsa play Crash Bandicoot. Who the fuck is this guy? Expat? I thought we knew each other. I thought we've known each other since 2018. What the fuck, man? Shane Farcour says, Ass Clown. Nice. That was very, very clever, sir. You are going to be a phenomenal internet person from now until the end of days. Holy shit, man. It's like you wake up in the morning, you know what I'm gonna do? Troll YouTube. Oh man, you gotta fucking love it. You gotta fucking love it. Anyways, Blake Gruskitsky says ACH USD. Okay, this is a completely new one. I've never seen this ticker before, I don't believe. Alchemy Pay, all right. Coinbase and Huobi, all right. It's off to a good. Well, what the fuck? Okay, so it's on Coinbase just lists anything now. Actually, wait, that's not it. We need to go to Huobi, which is not the most highly holy shit. Yeah, that's your listing pump right there. I would actually be looking for a pullback around this region. You're actually right there right now, in fact. Right around here. I would be looking for a pullback and probably a deep retracement somewhere down around about 0.0185. Somewhere right around here is where I'd be looking towards. Anywhere between there and there is where I'd be looking towards. At the very least, probably over the next week or so. And then I'd be looking for a bounce off this region and maybe it continues over time. I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on this chart long term because it doesn't really have like a long-term look on it. But yes, I would be looking for it to pull back from that region, maybe after spiking the highs a few more times. Can we see if we are in a good buying position? Fuck no. What the fuck? Sir, you're in a good selling position, man. You're in a very good selling position. Of course, it's not financial investment, not financial advisor, but yeah, it's probably going to even spike this area a couple more times. But I don't think that you're going to enter into a higher move anytime soon. I suspect you're going to retrace first, and then yeah, look at daily RSI. Now, very rarely will I call it like a high RSI, but this is like the levels that you have never seen ever at a 93 read. I mean, that's pretty damn rare for anything actually. And we see that BBWP's on the fucking ceiling right here too. I mean, this is as high as it can get, 100 percentile. This is a pretty damn good area to be looking for a pullback from over the next week or so. Okay, Blake Womack says, any scalping video streams you would recommend? I actually have a shit ton on this channel. In the program, I do have like 20 to 30 videos of scalping trades from open to close. And then I think also if you join the membership on this channel as well, like via YouTube, I think I actually left some of them there too. But I'm sure that there's plenty of other people around the webs. I think actually even Zfelds, who I've had on this channel before, Mr. Zfelds of the Trade Network, really good guy. I believe he has a lot of live scalping. I know that J3 has it as well, who we've also interviewed on this channel as well. Who else can I think of? Not anyone else off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's plenty. I know that there's several people who still live trade, which, hey, credit to them, man. I don't have the fucking balls to do it anymore for multiple reasons. But I believe CryptoFace does, so credit to him. It's not easy to do live. I think even I don't know if Crypto does, but maybe he does as well. Fair enough. Anyways, other than that, No, I don't really have any. If you're talking about like scalping, like putting on live trades, that's what I'm referencing right there. If you're talking about just strategies, then yes, I have several strategies that are available freely on this channel in the TA 101 playlist, specifically at the end. You'll see several there. All right, cool. Paranoid, there he is. Richard Hart, what the fuck? Real pole crown for the dress press one. Hey, how dare you? How dare you, man? By the way, big thank you for sharing that with me earlier, man. That was super fucking cool. Very, 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 very cool. Daniel Garcia says ACY daily and weekly timeframes. Okay, I'm gonna guess that this is a stock. ACY. Arrow Century Corporation on Arca. I've never heard of this one before. Daily's good. Weekly is good. And I think that this breakout is real and very likely to trade higher from here. Short term, does it pull back a little bit? Probably yes. But did you ask about short term? No, you did not. Just daily and weekly. Weekly Golden Cross, pretty much all but confirmed right here. I mean, this is good enough. We can even see that all we need to do is close above 1718. This looks very, very likely. Weekly Jewel, bullish. Weekly RSI, hidden bullish divergence. Expanding volatility right here. You know, might have a very slight short-term pullback from this $19 level back down to like 17.5, but long-term, I think that you're continuing very, very likely to low 20s. 22.5 would be my next major target, actually, somewhere right around there, and perhaps even as much as this area right here to up to about $24. And that would actually be at new all-time high territory, so that would be a massive change of behavior, but overall, I'd want to see these areas spiked first, and then, you know, kind of spend some time consolidating, and then perhaps later continuation. Alrighty, cool. Anwi says, hey, good morning. Good morning to you too, man. Please check out GHST on 4 Hour Daily. Yeah, man, this one's been getting a lot of love recently, and for good reason. It's had one of the best cryptocurrency charts. I think it's versus BUSD. Yeah, there we go. On Binance. And what do we have here? Oh, shit. Is it entering into a bit of a sell? No, we're getting that pullback that we spoke about yesterday. Somewhere down to about 180 is completely fine. Even if this one wants to dump out to 170, that's completely fine as well. I have nothing really medium term or higher term time frame bearish say about this thing, as long as it's above about 160. So anywhere between the 21 and 55 in this case is fair game, and I look at that as just another higher low in the making. Daily, yes, we do have bearish divergence, so very likely does pull back a little bit more from here, but ultimately I do still actually like this chart long term if you're asking about the higher term timeframes, which you actually did not. But I suspect that you probably are a little bit more interested in that. You maybe just don't know it. Maybe I'm just making up shit. But yes, probably does pull back a little bit more here. 175 to 170ish region, I'd very likely be looking towards, and then I'd be looking for a higher low, constructed over the next few days, and then very likely tries maybe sometime next week or the week after that to the upside. We see volatility is completely expanded here on the hourly, completely collapsed here on the hourly. So next, actually is looking for expansion, and I do expect that this is going to come to the downside short term, but I'd be looking for higher lows around here is what I'd be doing, and give it the benefit of the doubt first. I do not switch around to be bearish on this one. As long as you're above, let's make it actually 165. As long as you're above the 55 in this case, I just look at that as another higher low. Jordan Chen says, Cope USD 4 hour, please. Does it have hope? Is this a real thing, or am I being trolled? Let's see. It has too good of a name. No, it is a real thing. What the fuck? That's interesting. Okay, and you're looking at Jordan's looking at a 4 hour, please. Does it have hope? Oh, we're already on the 4 hour. Hidden bullish evidence coming off the lows here. I mean, I think it has a short-term move to the upside, maybe 170 or so. I know you didn't ask about the daily, but I'm curious. See, long-term, it looks garbage, man. Here's a key in something like this, though. You have a very easy downside trade. I know you didn't ask about the daily, but if you do close anywhere below this 141.25 level, I'd be looking for the whole rally to be coughed up. I'd be at the very least looking for a move down somewhere around like 88 to 90 cents or so. Still a little bit further away right there, but this is pretty garbage chart. So I do expect that this is a good candidate for that. But short term, does it bounce first? I think so, yes. And then if you see a daily close below that level, get ready for some non-hope, or at least hopium for the bear odds there. Hey, what's up, Spencer Smith? Love you, Zers. Hey, is it Z's Day today? No, it's not. I think Z's Day is August 5th. No, there's an actual Z's Day. Pena, where are you, sir? Sir! Pena! No, I believe it actually is August 5th. Rest in peace, sir. Anyways, love you, sir. Alchemy Play. Yeah, we just looked at this one. Yeah. So I think that we're just coming to this one a little bit later, Mr. Spencer Smith. But yeah, I'd be looking for it to kind of spike those highs a few more times, perhaps, but ultimately pull back from that region, and then we'll see if it actually holds up long term, man. That's a real question. What's up, Dre3F? How you doing, man? Luna USD 1 hour for daily. Thank you, sir. Okay, Luna. US derp. And here's a weird thing. I did check in on a few altcoins before this stream, and a few altcoins are looking like very good. This one being one of them, I believe. Yeah, getting its first little short-term pullback here. It can pull back all the way down to like $13, no problem. Ultimately, though, I don't suspect that the run is done just yet. I would be looking for another try back around $16. In fact, we hit our 15.5 target from yesterday's video. We got a golden cross at the same time. It's very, very good, or actually a few days prior. So short term, you know, pulls back maybe like 13.25. Perhaps even all the way down to 12.5. But ultimately, I would be looking for another move to the upside. I want to see volatility start to contract here as well, as it puts in or at least tries for another higher low. Nothing to me is bearish about this thing, especially as long as you're above about $11. And if you want to be super conservative, you'd say about 10.5 or so. But $11 should get it right there. But yeah, man, I do still really like this chart actually long term. Short term, just pull back and look for higher lows. I suspect you'll probably see something somewhere around like low $13. Of course, not finished by, sir. The Saturn Epoch. Hey, we should talk to you about the moons, actually. Link BTC, short, medium term. Link holding now. Better when Bitcoin dumbs. Something has changed. Okay, let's check it out. So you're looking at Link BTC. That would be an interesting thing, just because you know, I'd like to see Link do well again, just so that Ro can finally buy a goddamn 3090 and join the club, not be durning up our goddamn discords. Yeah, it is looking good here for reversal. Really like the closure above both the 200 simple and 200 exponential average. Wouldn't mind a pullback relatively soon, anywhere down to like what is this? 58,800 satoshis is fair game, but long term, I actually do think that this one continues to the upside here. Next major target is going to be somewhere around about what is this, 69,000 satoshis. Let's see what it looks like on a weekly. Yeah, it looks very, very good here on a weekly, actually. For more continuation, regular bullish evidence come off the lows, and we've already hit the easy targets on that. So the next sort of extended target is actually going to be, yeah, about 69 to 70,000 satoshis, and then above there you got 77 if things really get crazy. But this is good. It's starting to put in actual low structure here, so that is nice. Even has hidden bullish evidence on the monthly as well. In fact, so gonna take some time, I still imagine, but overall we do have a nice base being built right there. So I'd give it the benefit of the doubt for right now, especially. All right, cool. Let's see. Anderson 7 says, Justin Taylor, that is genius. Have Elsa interview Richard in a bikini top. Dude will be speechless for the first time ever. There you go, sir. These are too funny. Elsa said the funniest but meanest thing about one of our fellow cryptocurrency. Here's a good game to play. Oh, this is gonna be a good game to play. Elsa said something so fucking mean about a fellow cryptocurrency YouTuber, I guess. Like months ago that I need to repeat. And here's the game. Guess who this is about? She said, he looks like he's never touched a boob before. Guess who that's about? Wrong answers only. No. Do you even remember? You probably don't remember. It was pretty fucking good.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Not for me.
Krown, you ever been to a Turkish prison? No, I have not actually. Let's see. Oh my god. Oh, these are good. Oh my god. That's too fucked up. It's too true. Oh my. Okay, it's very fucked up when oh my god. It's very fucked up when you say something like that and then people guess the right answer. That's like, how do you hide from that one? It's like, oh no, there's some animosity there. Like, that's just mean. It wasn't me who said it. It was Elsa who said it. Look, man. Hey, he's fucking rich enough now. He can touch all the boobs that he wants, but for like a price. So, anyways, KE says potential target for Hex has broken out. Thanks as always. Yeah, I think yesterday we looked at Hex. We were saying bounce back up somewhere around like 13-14 cents. Let's see where it's at today. It's at actually almost 15 cents. Holy shit, man. Powerful. Jesus Christ. Didn't just hit my targets, obliterated my targets, and this one's going higher. What do we have? We have a higher low. Man. You can hate Richard all you want, but this thing is still bullish, actually. Holy shit. I did not take... we hit our... What? Benjamin... I think you said Ben Shapiro never gotten laid, actually. But no, you also there's also another one for. All right, I won't say who it is. Elsa's canceled. Get out of here. Yeah, man, still bullish on the Hex, I suppose. This is just another higher low. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one extend the gains back up to 16 cents, and that weekly wants to trend still. Trend is your friend, man. The trend is your friend. Holy shit. Powerful hex. Powerful hex. Have to call it like I sees it, man, because if you don't, then you kind of lose your what's it called? Integrity. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. It's a good chart. It's a good chart. Regardless of anyone's thoughts on the project or the creator, as far as charts go, it's a good fucking chart, man. Okay, cool. Miguel Alvarez says your take on Cardano. I think that one actually had a decent move yesterday as well. Let me just go double check. Yeah, it did. It did. Still holding the levels here. Still holding the levels. We did say yesterday, as long as it holds above $1.25, I would still be looking for sideways and up, and that's exactly what we got. I'd actually move that level up to about 128.25 now. Let's see what the weekly looks like here. Still sloppy. I don't really have a major opinion about that. The daily, however, does look good, and the daily was what I was referencing earlier. Yeah, so now I remember looking at it. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing try for about $1.46, $1.50 over the next week or so. This is actually okay right here. Looking at daily RSI, still fine. Daily BBWPs on the floor, so any sort of expansion here, which it can definitely do, we'll actually have more juice than that. Very, very likely. I mean, maybe longer term back up to like 169, 170. Curious what it looks like over here too. Let's see. Okay. No, maybe not an hourly. We want to go to a daily. Daily stokes remain to the upside as long as above 135 actually, which we are a couple cents below right now. So it does need to continue from here. Otherwise, this will very likely topple on over. But you know, 12-hour same thing actually coming in from our same level here. 4-hour still up. You know, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. I'd say kind of a similar thing to yesterday. I'd cautiously be looking for sideways and up as long as we hold above this new higher low right here, about $1.20.5 actually, not $1.20.25, but $1.20.5 right there. Anyways, okay, sweet. Let's see. The Wholesome Grail says, not financial advice. Okay, I know, but if you had $10,000 and worked a 9 to 5, would you trade a strategy or invest? Crypto or traditional? Okay, so here's the criteria. This person has a set amount of money, and then most importantly, here's what sticks out the most. It's not the dollar amount that you have, it's the fact that you have a 9 to 5 job. So if you do want to be a more active trader, I would suggest that it's really not a fucking good idea if you have like other commitments that take priority throughout the day. So in that case, no, I don't think that you should. I don't think that you should trade. I think if anything, you know, investing makes more sense for like a more long-term thing, because you're just not gonna be able to check in on the charts as much as you're probably gonna need if you are trading like an actual strategy, especially on like medium time frames. And if something crazy were to happen, I mean, you know, you got to be able to react, and you know, it could be that you can't make a decision, while you're at work. So that could be a career-ending move, and of course, having $0 is a lot worse than having still $10,000. Anyways, crypto traditional. Okay, so that's actually a really good question. Here's what I'd say to that. You know, you don't need to go balls deep into one or the other. You can bifurcate it, right? So with crypto, you have more inherent risk but more potential reward. With traditional, you have less inherent risk but more potential, but less potential reward. So perhaps, you know, represent that in your partitioning of your funds. Maybe you go like 60% in traditional markets for some stocks that you like, or some ETFs, or whatever the fuck that you decide, and then maybe you have like 40 or 30% for crypto, and keep some in your back pocket as well. You don't need to go balls deep into it. I don't necessarily. I mean, you are buying an uptrend on traditional markets, but if you're investing for the long term, I don't know if this is like the area that I'd be fully comfortable doing that actually. So, you know, it's something to think about, man. You don't need to go all in on one or the other. You also don't need to go all in on all your money to begin with. So that's what I'd say about that. What I would avoid, however, and this is probably going to get a little bit of flack, but I would really stick by this stance. I would not. Okay. Diversifying yourself into cryptocurrencies, I think, is a bunch of bullshit. I don't think there's really diversification in cryptocurrencies. You know, yeah, some altcoins are going to be more emotional, but they're pretty much all going to trade alongside Bitcoin, save for, you know, 1 or 2% of the total amount of coins, of which we've seen a couple of them. Luna would be one. Axes, or whatever the fuck that thing is. NFTs seem to be doing their own thing as well. But for the most part, man, you know, if you're going to go into cryptocurrencies, like, you might as well go with the big ones if you're going to be an investor, at least in my opinion. For traditional markets, you know, you can kind of apply the same thing to like an ETF. Again, you know, it depends how active you can really be. And it sounds like with a 9 to 5 job, probably not the best idea to be more of an active trader. Probably better to be an investor, if anything at all. So again, something for you to decide, of course. Ben Markowitz says, we close the daily back in the Gaussian channel. Do you think we are going to test the midline now? Very high percentage on it testing the midline. Yeah, that is actually a really good point, but let's see where the midline is right now. I believe it's somewhere around 37. So if it is, I mean, that would actually be right in line with the 21 here too. Let's just see where it is. Actually, no, it's way lower than that. In fact, it's all the way down to about 35.5. Huh. Interesting. Anyways, is there a good history of this where we see something relatively similar? So here's the criteria. We need to see red for a good amount of time. We need to see our first closures above, and then what happens after that when it closes back below. So we have an example over here. We have red for a little bit of time, closes above, and actually just kind of trades sideways around the high side of it before continuing to the upside. Same thing over here, actually. This one does not break back in. This one does break back in for just a couple days, but continuation, generally speaking. This one does not trade above. No, let's go through a few more. This one also trades above right here too. Comes back in, holds the midline, and then up. So that one actually does test in around there. This one over here closes above, but that one stays above for a while. It doesn't crash back in immediately like this one does over here. Actually, no, this one doesn't really as well. So I'd have to kind of push back on that statement and say I don't see the same relationship between that. And I don't think that you can make a relationship between that just yet. Below the, look, here's the easy trade. You see a daily closure below the 20-month exponential average. This thing's going back down to fucking 33 or 34,000 bucks. I'd feel extremely strong about that. Yeah, you're probably gonna get a bounce of like 35,000 bucks at the midline, but just gonna be a bounce, man. Until that happens, I do remain cautiously, sideways and up, kind of on like a boring Wednesday, I suppose. Is it Wednesday actually? I think it is Wednesday. It is Wednesdays. Wednesday's actually known for the most volatileness in cryptocurrency land from my studies. Anyways, let's see. Spencer Smith says XYO has done quite the pump as well. Let's check it out. Spencer. Okay, XYO. Okay, it's a crypto. Of course it is. Do we look at it versus Bitcoin? We look at it probably versus Bitcoin actually. Wow, yeah, it has had a pretty massive pump here. In fact, let's get rid of this for now. And this would be a really good place for a pullback, though. How far can we pull back? I'd say all the way down to low 1900 satoshis or so. Over the next week, maybe 2 weeks, I'd be looking for a pullback somewhere down around there. But yeah, very, very impressive pump. And then after that, this one does have a long-term history of going mostly to the upside. Oh, sorry, this is a fucking 4-hour. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Damn it, Spencer. It actually is looking good for a reversal here, so fair enough. It very likely is going to pull through here. Short-term pullback, long-term, very likely continuation. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing try for another move towards 3,200 over the next few months. Yeah, daily, same thing. Short-term pullback, but I'd look for it to get picked up and put another higher low and march its way upwards and onwards. It's fine. BK says, sir, please, GHSC. We already did that one, so I think I'm just getting to this one a little bit later. Okay, alrighty. Marsh Malone says, you clowns promoting plebs who promote leverage exchanges so they can get referral fees, the real scams, and call other scammers. Sir, what? do you have an issue? Who promotes leverage exchanges? What does that even mean? I guess it means like the buy bet chiller, so fair enough, whatever. All right. Again, people are free to do whatever they want to do, but yeah, I agree. Most people are going to lose most if not all of their money leverage trading. Most people, 77% of people, actually, statistically speaking, do never make a profit in trading. So take that as you will. Anyways, Ash Roberts says, hey, hello, sir. Ocean BTC, 4-hour daily. Let's check it out. Yeah, I suspect that you're just kind of repeating a meme that you heard along the webs, because that seems to be like the new thing to kind of focus on right now. So yeah, fair enough, man. People are free to do what they want to do, though, and that means you're also free as well. You're free to have your opinions. 4-hour daily, we have a shitcoin of a chart. We got a shitcoin of a chart, baby. We got a shitcoin of a chart. Holy fuck. But do we have some upside short term? Yeah, we very likely do. This last spike weekly high at about 1450 is fair game. This is Ocean Bitcoin, right? Yeah, it is Ocean Bitcoin. Okay, let's go down to a daily. I'd be looking probably for another move somewhere around here to test like 1450, 1460-ish region. Short-term pullback from there. If this one wants to continue onwards, more long-term, I'd be looking somewhere around 1800 satoshis. Not a humongous fan of this chart long-term, but it's very likely to have another pity bounce off the lows. Again, 1700, I do think at best over the next month or so. And it does look like it wants to continue here. It's actually okay. Are we operating on lower highs right now, though? We actually are operating on lower highs. So if it does fail back down below about 1300, then you will you will confirm hidden bearish divergence and you'll cough up this whole rally. But for right now, you give it the benefit of the doubt. It's kind of in a bouncy area. Okay, Rhythm says daily weekly for GRWG. Grow Generation Corporation on Nasdaq. What do we see here? We see a nice little base, actually. Not bad. You also could look at this Sunny Triangle, but I don't think that that's what's going on right here. I see multiple hidden bullish divergence, and I see the 55 still holding, so that is my key to not get bearish on this one, and very likely look for another move back up to about $43 short term. But what time frame are you looking at? Daily, weekly? Okay, so yeah, you are focused on the higher term time frames. Other than that, just going sideways here for a while, between your levels right here at about 36.50 and this level right here. Anything between there is healthy consolidation in my books. Weekly RSI kind of tells the story on this one. Above this high on 6th of July, I actually would look for a run at new all-time highs very likely. Yep, I would. Below this region right here, I'd actually look for a big retracement down to about $20.50, but I don't think that's what's happening. I think that this one is looking pretty damn healthy. Let's reference the monthly. Sloppy here, not really getting too much from that, but I'd give it the benefit of the doubt, man. It's on a pretty nice run there. Okay, let's see what else we got, man. Newbie Noob says Juicy J is into crypto. Let's bring him on. That would actually be super fucking cool, man. He's my favorite rapper of all time. All right, Justin Tomiak says, Elsa, please ask the Afro technical analysis. Oh, dear Lord. LYXE 4-hour daily. Yeah, this video is definitely going to be on the shorter side today. Okay, LYXE 4-hour daily. Right. This thingy here, huh? Okay, 4-hour daily. Okay, any exchange. Daily does have a golden cross going on. I do play this one to the upside as long as it's above about 935. 4-hour. Yeah, sideways and up, hidden bullish divergence off that last low. Sideways and up is what I'd be looking for. Again, 945 is the critical area to hold. I do respect the golden cross right there, and more, maybe over the next couple weeks, I'd be looking for another run towards 13.5, perhaps more over time. Yeah, pretty good chart here on the weekly, actually. Pretty good chart here on the weekly. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one actually make a stab much higher than that, maybe in the next couple of months towards $20, maybe even beyond. I mean, this is actually a very good altcoin chart, all things considered, and having one of the better runs recently, for sure, within this market. Doggy coin with Doggy coin general TA. All right, we could look at that. Yeah, I remember looking at Dogecoin this morning too, and it was looking like absolute shit here. So we see a bifurcated market. Like some altcoins are looking okay, some altcoins are looking like this. We do have lower highs yet again. We do have even bearish divergence coming off the high. We even have, oh dear Lord. So we put in a high on extremely low volatility. If this starts to expand to the downside, which it looks like it will, we're going to see another run towards about 17 cents. We might actually be able to play the song. Holy shit, Faraz and Mr. Empire. We might actually be able to play the song. I cannot fucking wait for this shit. Still not getting much from the weekly though. I do, regardless of whether the rest of the market moves the upside or not, I think that the top for this one is extremely likely in here. Anyways, going back down to the daily, yeah, this one looks like it wants to pop back down to like 17 and a quarter. So I don't think it's ready to like fully break down just yet. I'd be looking for another bounce off this level, and then maybe tries for another run towards 19 cent. A lower high right there would probably do it for me to look for the actual break, but still going to take some time, man. Still going to take some time. Can we see some testnet positions? Sure. I'm still running the same positions over here. My P&L is disappearing. How dare they? It's all marked right now, man. It's all marked, except for those $36,000 call strikes. But I'm also trying to offer another 20 lot of these $200,000 call strikes expiring in September. So that's all fucking premium to myself. I want to close this side over here and open another one a little bit higher. Still holding 20 lot long $68,000 strike in December, and other than that, I just still have my spot long positions, which I will close below $37,000 as stated before. Other than that, I don't really have too much to add right here. Positions running more or less fine, and it's all marks right now, man. I would like to maybe grab some puts on this next down. By grab them, I mean sell them, sell a little bit more of them. I do expect that the ones, especially below $20,000, are all premium right now and very easy to cover if need be. But other than that, man, nothing, no major updates right there. It's just kind of letting theta pay me for the time being. Okay, cool. Let's see. Jamie Rhodes wants to look at $1 on the 1 and 4 hour. Okay, all right, we'll do that really quick. Then we'll get to Chris, and perhaps we'll shut this baby off. Okay, One Harmony looks to me like it's actually put in a high right here, man. I do not like that structure. Hidden bearish divergence. Yes, volatility extremely low. So if we do expand to the downside, this one's coming back down to 5.7 cent. How would you confirm that move? Daily closure below the 21 in this case would do it for me. That's about 7. What is that? 7.2. That's 7.3 cent actually. Let's see what it look like on a weekly. Just out of curiosity. I know you didn't ask about this. Yeah, on a weekly it's actually okay. You asked about a 4 hour and an hourly. You got a very easy one right here. Hey, you got your higher lows as long as you're above about 7.3. Probably do see another move back up towards 7.6, maybe even as much as 7.7 short term. Yeah, wouldn't mind a relief bounce here. Similar to Bitcoin, kind of on the same on the same note as that one. Things really get crazy, 7-9. But other than that, man, I don't really have a strong opinion on the short-term time frames. It's actually the weekly that I do. And this is completely fine right here. But just going to take its time, I imagine. Long term, I'd probably be looking for about 1-2, or sorry, that's 12 cents actually. Okay, cool. Chris Oates says, "Hi mate. Hey, what's up, sir? Can we check out Quant or Polkadot or both?" All right, we can do both because it's quite day 2. And then we'll probably shut this baby off, but we got Quant routing over here. I think we need to go to, what's it, Bittrex or Ku? It was KuCoin, Derpcoin over here. Very good still, man. Very good still. I'm still bullish on this one. Yeah. I don't even think it hit my pullback target, which was like 133. I think I said 133 or 135. This one got down to about 140. Yeah, about 140 it looks like yesterday. Not bad, man. This one still looks really, really good on the weekly. But what time frames are we looking at? You did not say any time frames. Let's go down to the very low term time frames here. The 4-hour. Oh, what do you know? Another uptrend here. This one looks like it's ready once again. 4-hour RSI kind of telling the story. Hidden bullish evidence back in the bullish control zone. I'll be looking for this one to make another run at the high. Probably make new highs maybe later this week, probably next week if I had to guess. I remain bullish on this one. Actually using yesterday's low as a continuation point. So if we do take out yesterday's low, which is 142.78, I would be looking for this one to go for a deeper retracement somewhere back down around low 100s. But for right now, respect the rally. It's still trending right there, still in an uptrend. Polkadot. All right, we'll do this one really quick as well. I feel like, did we look at this one already or not? Did we do it or not? Have we done it or not on Binance? Yeah, not as strong. Very, very much not as strong actually. Where the weekly's at right now. Yeah, it really wouldn't be asking too much to get the weekly testing back up to about 21.25. Short-term timeframes, I don't have a strong opinion on this. Yes, we have a golden cross. So where's your level to hold if you want a little bit of hopium? It's about 16 and 16 and a half, let's call it. It's kind of similar to Bitcoin above, like let's say 37.5. As long as we're above there, I look for sideways and up. Does it look super obvious on the higher term timeframes? No, but I would give it the benefit of the doubt just based off the rest of the market, and short-term timeframes very likely do bounce before we do see anything of particular interest, particular note right now. So I think that is where we'll probably leave it off today. All right, one more for the Italian Stallion. One more for the Italian Stallion, sir. All right, we'll do B Pro USDT. Imagine, I remember this one used to be pretty popular. Actually having a decent run as well. These are very interesting to me. Short term very likely comes down a little bit more towards 8.5 tenths of a cent. 4-hour, yep. I'd be looking. All I need to see is this one hold the last prior low, which is, what is this, 7 tenths of a cent, just above 7 tenths of a cent. So right there is where I kind of be looking towards. Presumably any sort of a higher low around 8 tenths of a cent would look pretty damn good. But it's gonna be a long day for this one. What does the weekly look like? Weekly's okay. Yeah, it could very easily come back down around there. I'd look for a bounce at first pass, but not enough history to really judge this one long term. So I think I'll kind of stay away from that one. Not the most obvious. All right, last one for Filson, just because it's Filson, sir. Just because it's Filson. All right, Theta Derp. What time frame are you looking at? Any time frame. All right, let's see. Daily. I'm not getting too much from this, man. It's hidden. It keeps on hitting center on the on the 55, which is typically not a good sign. But you have a very obvious continuation here, and I imagine that the short-term timeframes are in an uptrend. Of course, they are. And they're starting to grab on, and this is typically a good sign right here. You got a very obvious area right here. You even have your higher lows coming in. Apparently, I drew that in a while ago. It should be something more like this. I play this one sideways and up, kind of similar to Bitcoin, as long as it holds this low at about $5.50 right here. You can even just use this last spike low as a continuation point. And that's 553, so not too far away from that, anyways, or 554 more like. Above about 630, I would look for a pretty nice move here, actually, all the way up to wherever the 200 simple is on the daily, and that's going to be currently just around 7.25 or so. So I do think it has a chance there. And again, a lot of the market is kind of doing something somewhat similar. So for me, I give it the benefit of the doubt first, and then come back to it later. But for Bitcoin right here, do we get a run at the lows first before bouncy bounce time, or a potential bouncy bounce? It's looking like maybe yes, but again, here's the obvious trade today, man. I'm basically looking for sideways and up, at the very least, a pity bounce for Bitcoin. And the obvious trade, though, is any sort of a daily closure below the 21. Any sort of a fucking daily closure below the 21. I'd look for Bitcoin to ultimately, over the next week or two, come back down to about 33,500 with a bounce along the way at 35 or so. Short term, however, it still looks to me like maybe we have one more wick to the downside right here. Probably try for a bounce after that, and then figure it out later today. Still the $45,000 targets and ideas remain alive as long as that is not not destroyed there. So overall, a little bit of a boring day. Oh, there he is, Daryl P. What's up, man? How did you meet Elsa? That would be Grinder. And how do I find my own Finnish hyena? That would be Tinder or Grinder, depending upon your sexuality, sir. So there you go, man. Hopefully that was in some way helpful. But yeah, I imagine a rather sort of sideways and maybe more or less boring day. I mean, realistically, we are caught within a range here. With that said, I want to wish everyone well. It's been an absolute pleasure on this lovely slow Wednesday. Take care, and hopefully see you very, very soon.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Cryptologic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it,